Alright, so I don't really have a set plan tonight. Just figured I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna do, a couple just quick hate runs, maybe some Sky. I need to go kill Yale for the week. I think I have maybe D012 of CT left. I may go and do that. Really mostly just hoping that bags drop from him. But let me get into here. Right before I went live, I was just farming up to Interact just to get Indolosite gear. This is D3. I've already done him this week, a few times, so this would only be one drop. But I'm going to kill him again in just a minute once I get everything up and running. So let me just check a few things here. Oh, hold on. I've got a string up somewhere. Okay, sorry about that. If you've heard that, so I had my Twitch stream up in the background, but I paused that. Now I muted it. So that is gone. Then let me go ahead. Just want to go quickly post to the Discord that I'm going to go live. Still trying to build up a little bit of a subscriber base here. And I need to just get my YouTube stream going real quick. So let me get to that screen. 1 second here. Let's see. 10th live. Okay. Post this.
Recast Puma on in Noruk S chosen.
Okay, so I got those posted. All right, so let me get onto the chat screen. Don't know if I'll get any chatters today, but might as well be there in case somebody does stop by. Of course, I've got the AI viewers. I constantly seem to ban them, but they still keep coming back. So let's see. All right, so just gonna jump into this fight here. Kill this real quick. Then I think might just do a quick D2 run of this farm, and then move on probably to do D0 through D4 Yale real quick. Those don't take too long. Then maybe off to Fear to do D0 through D2 just because I've already done D4 and D3 earlier in the week to get some void tokens. So I start this fight off a little bit differently now. I hang back and let him aggro the pet while I get slow on and really get kind of everything on that I need on. And then I enter the fight in a warrior, very unique way using the Heroes AA, Heroes Leap AA, which I think is pretty great. So so here we go. So I'm way back here. I'm gonna hit this in werewolf style. We are gonna fly right into the fight and take aggro away from the pet. I just think that I don't use that AA very much. In fact, I probably hadn't used it in 2 weeks. I had at some point removed it accidentally from my hotbar, and then when I got it out earlier today or maybe yesterday, I used it for that from way back, and I was in werewolf form, and I just thought it was the coolest visual of that werewolf jumping through the air like you would see in a movie. All right, so I mean these interacts, whether it's D3, D4, I'm sure they are for most classes, but definitely now for With this combo, they are pretty much easy mode. I mean, I stay in offensive stance. I'm barely healing. I can put on unwielding, and I'm sitting at 176 health or hit point regen. I should have more. I need to recast Chloroplast, which I should have done before the fight, but I did not. And, typically I'm getting these down in, a minute, 2 minutes, something like that.
Nothing but problem.
All right, so we did lose Charm there, which mostly that is because I think I had that Charm. Ooh, hold on. We are gonna. This would be embarrassing if I had lost to a D3 any, but it is possible because I just cast Uma instead of a heal. While I was getting the stream set up, I think I had that Charm sitting there for probably 15
Recast Puma on in Noruk chosen.
15 minutes. But you can kind of see, like, when people are saying that there's not a whole lot of danger with Charm. I mean, here I am fighting D3 Inno. I missed Charm, I think, 3 times there. Messed up my heals a couple times. And still got it off. So when you're playing a warrior or any tank class with the Charm, I definitely will say there is not a whole lot of risk. But that was a really, really ugly way to fight in Inno on a stream there. I don't think I can remember the last time Charm broke when I was fighting him, but like I said, before going live, hey Jarrett, what's going on? Before going live, I was just sitting here getting the stream up while staring at Inno with that Charm pet for probably 15 minutes. So it might have even broke from the 20-minute time limit on Charm. I thank you for joining, Jared. Are you currently playing EQL? I feel like we might have talked before, Jarrett.
That wasn't so
But
terrible, was it?
remind me if we did. I don't know how close. This has got quite a ways to get a level up, but every little bit helps. And then I'm going to kill this guy because he does drop, or can drop,
Nothing but problem.
warrior gear. Get this guy killed and a quick speed run through D2. Didn't drop anything here, but just want to go through D2 just to see if I can get a couple more Indolosite drops. Might not even kill any, but I probably will because should only take like a minute extra to kill him, and then off to fight my Yales for the week. Nice, Jarrett. What congrats on getting to 50 and taking down your first any and CT. What level did you do them on? Did you just start on D0 so far? It's really great when you start to take down those gods. Your power level just really starts to jump up as you start to get some of that gear. Oh, very nice. Yeah, the one thing you definitely want to get from any, and you will get it eventually. It took me quite a few kills before I got it. Is this
Haste
engineers?
wore off you, maybe you should recast it.
This engineers ring, and it's actually the second thing that I leveled up to 10 because it's useful in so many different classes. I've got that to 10 and my Fangol to 10. Yeah. don't be afraid to try those D1s and D2s. D1 and D2 are not that much harder than D0, quite honestly. They're still a single class mob. The gear they drop are going to be automatically D1 in D1 and D2 and D2, and just it's really nice to be able to combine gear really quick. But they really aren't that much harder, so it's really worth giving it a go. Worst that can happen is you die. Especially if you have, I wouldn't suggest like skipping all these mobs. Let's see, you said you were Pal. Where is it? Pal, Shaman, Wiz. Yeah, what warriors have
Clarity wore off you.
warriors have a really good way to get their planar armor that I don't think any other class kind of equals, and that's why I do this run. Because these Interact Chosens, the one that I have charmed here, these things drop the Indolosite warrior gear only. And there are, you'll see as I go through this, there are 5 of those always in the solo raid. And so they are very quick to kill. Those haunted chests, those 2 haunted chests, they can drop anything. Unfortunately, the Paladin does not have a... I do have to get clarity back on me. The Paladin does not have a set mob in here, a mini boss that drops your gear, which is unfortunate. Yes, very resistant. The one thing that does land on him really easily is Odium once you are in Overchannel and if you Malice. But definitely make sure you're casting all your dots in Overchannel if you have it. You should have it, but not sure. What I'll do, if you let me know if you're going to stay on the stream, and I will I'll do a hate run and outside of a raid and show you a good way to farm the lustrous gear, which is really great. It's not the shaman specific gear, and that stuff is great too, but what's nice is you can get this stuff and then you can use it in all these different classes. So if you ever drop the paladin, you would have still some good plate armor, but there is a pretty easy way to farm that. So right after I'm done with this, just let me know if you're going to stay on, and I'll do that run. And there are some videos out there, like Classic EQ, I think his name is. He is the one that first started to show the run, and basically there's set houses that always have the haunted chests, and that's what you want to farm. And so there's a route you can take. I don't do a lot of like specific moat farming. I'm gonna skip all of this stuff here. When if I'm leveling another class, which I haven't done, I've leveled a cleric, I think, to like 35, and drew it up a little bit now. Ooh, I didn't expect my pet to aggro that. It'll be fine though. This is where you really see kind of the power of this trio. Oh, I don't want that. I want him. So I'm just gonna mez these other 2 guys, kind of keep them on hold. Make sure my pet is on this, dot him up. I must have missed the pacify and didn't even realize it.
Recast Puma on in EverQuest Chosen.
Right, but you don't want to just use moats to level up that gear. Moats are really good for spells as well, and that's the only way you can upload spells or update spells. So farming some more copies of that gear is definitely something you want to be doing, especially if you get to where you can farm on D4. And like I said, so give me another 5 minutes, maybe. Well, I got to kill these mobs, so maybe 10 minutes, and we'll go to Plane of Hate, the non-raid version, and I'll show you that haunted chest path if you haven't done it, because I've been doing it as well, so that I can get lustrous gear for when I swap out my warrior to play some other
That
stuff.
wasn't so terrible, was it?
Nothing but problems.
Yeah. That is my charm message. Let's see. I think this is was my pet. I could have just switched to the full health one. That probably would have been smarter, but that's okay. Have you done Yale yet? Yale is actually the easiest boss. Maybe Finney is easier. I haven't actually gone to do Finney yet at all. Ogre, yeah, I'm on Halas. Yeah, I agree. Yale's pretty easy. Were you watching the stream live when I started out and did my flying werewolf attack into attacking any? I'm about to do it again if you missed it the first time. Let me re-clarity myself. Never did that, so I went through that whole raid without clarity, I think. Looks like I might have to redo some rebuffs here. Maybe I did get it on. Yeah. Alright, so let's just throw slugs on this guy and get going, and then move on to the next thing. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So warriors get this heroic leap attack, and so I hadn't been using it really for anything. But then yesterday, this is kind of how I start this fight now. I just send the charm pet in. It's not really necessary even on D4, but I like the flying attack and kind of like to get everything in. And so as soon as I get everything in, I hit this button and we just do woo, just a flying werewolf. Again, I don't have to be in werewolf. In fact, I'm probably going to take werewolf off after this fight because the noise can be a little bit annoying. Actually, a lot annoying probably on the stream, but it is just I'm gonna have to start doing that with different illusions. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to spam a cure here. Beast Lords can be a little bit annoying to fight. Because they can slow. Load me again. What is this pet? Just a warrior, I don't know. Oh, it must be just Puma when it looks like it's casting. Not actually casting. Oh, it's got my pet slowed too, so let's get a cure on that. One of this fight's taking so long.
Recast Puma on you.
Both me and my pet have been slowed the whole time.
Recast Puma on in EverQuest Chosen.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
All right, let's
Nothing but problems.
get rid of this. You tried any Plane of Fear or Plane of Sky yet? Yeah, I'll just do like, and there's always so many people up here trying to click in. It'd be like impossible. They really got to do something about this because you end up just clicking people. There we go. Yeah, I mean, without an enchanter, I don't actually know what Sky is like because I had an enchanter the whole time, so it was I actually cleared it the very first time I was in there. I can remember a little bit of Sky from back when I played EQ from 99 to 2003, 2004. Um, but that's a long time ago. And of course, that was with a whole raid, and that was more like you go up an island, nobody moves, you clear the island, then you move to the next one, nobody moves, you try to clear the island, and it was just like you get punted off the island, you run back up. It was quite a different experience back then. All right, let's get our rebuffs going. So get my extended on, do my buff one. Got the map up here. This is what I'm going to use. This is
Recast Puma on you.
Classic XP. You can find his channel on YouTube if you want to watch his video. So full credit to this for him. But these are the locations of all the haunted chests. So we're basically just going to hit all those and get out all on D4. See how many pieces we can get. So you played EQ back in the day? Back in just original? How long did you play it for? think we're going to play as a gnome, but we're going to play as a big gnome. Let's see what this is. Buff 2. I just want to save this. Grow this guy up a little bit. Okay, and get my Fangle back on. Damage. Oh, nice. Yeah, I started in 99 as well. I was in the beta for a little while, but I was on Zagani in a guild called Inner Circle, and we were the big guild on that server and did all of the end game content up through. I think I looked it up the other day. I think it was Gates of Discord when basically the entire guild got into World of Warcraft beta, and we all kind of jumped ship. Let me get a map up here so I can see where the houses are. Display map. I'm gonna go light mini. Yep. So the first one is right here. So this is EQ Companion. It's does a lot more than just DPS. When you get into Sky, I definitely highly recommend it. I'll bring it up here in a second. Let me get done with this fight. And I'm still learning it a little bit. I've just had it for about a week. But the developer seems there are of course other parsers that have been around for a couple decades. But I don't think they're actively being developed. This guy is actively developing EQ Companion and just constantly adding new stuff, taking feedback. Yeah, EQ log part. It is solid. Like I said, that's one of the ones. So look right there. So first one, lustrous boots +4. So I think I've already got a set of those in the bank, so we'll combine those later. But let's see, where is my EQ companion? So just do it real quick. So, and let me just take that off. So like this is the overview. So there's a bunch of stuff on here. You then go to combat, right? And so it's constantly keeping track of, not just that fight, but all fights. And, you can kind of get in and get some more details. Like on this fight, how many total hits we had, average per hit, crit percentage. I'm sure EQ Log Parser gives all of this as well. DPS over time. This is a list of all the mobs I've killed. And what's cool about this is as long as you turn your log on, so if you're using EQ Parser, um, you've already been logging. You can, just get your log into this and it'll pull all the information in. Loot, it'll keep track of all the loot you've ever, kind of looted. It looks at all of the gear you currently have on, and I really haven't experimented, but it'll show your classes here. Actually, I think you can change. I was looking for how to change this the other day when I was playing a different trio. I guess you just do it right in here. And I haven't played with this much. It'll have a map of the zone you're in. You can't really do too much in here, but you can find a map. But this isn't like live data. It's just kind of second. But these golems, they tend to just kind of roam up here. You just kill this guy first. Oh, I'll show that again. Puma going. I believe it's all open. I think he's got all the code on GitHub. There's definitely a lot of people using it. I haven't looked at it personally, but it does appear safe, and it just looks at the log file, so it's not injecting anything, into the server or anything. It'll keep track of your raid targets to see which ones you've done, kind of overall, which ones you've done this week. But Plane of Sky is where it really, kind of it'll keep track of all the quest drops you have, what's ready to turn in. So last run I didn't have time to go turn these in, but I have to turn these in. What your targets are. So after you start turning in a bunch of class or quests, it'll show you like which islands you should still focus on. Keeps track of which classes. Yeah, I believe it's open source. Yeah. Or at least I think he's got the code on GitHub. But I could be wrong there. I might be thinking about something else. So I would definitely look into it yourself. But keeps track of, all the quests. Use it for this as well. So this is cool. Like you can set alerts for different things, and this is all based on what happens in your log files. So like when charm breaks, I've got this sound that plays when buffs wear off, and you can do the alerts in game as well. But this makes it real easy. It gives you suggestions kind of based on, what's happening. And then you can set them, very, very quickly. And there's like a ton of sound packs you can download. Maybe if I can remember how to get there. I don't know, there's like over, I think, like 400 different sound packs of different voices. Or you can just use a standard, kind of computer voice that reads the text, and then you can, choose what you want the voice to be. Um, it's got this whole leveling page that kind of shows you like where you got all your AAs and levels and experience. I haven't really played with this, too much. It can keep track of your buffs and when the timers are going to wear off. You can set other timers for like when mobs are supposed to respawn and stuff. So really, and then these are all the different overlays. And like I said, these don't inject into the game. So once I overlay it, I have 4 monitors, and I can move this to any monitor.
Recast Puma on you.
I just made a spot, kind of open, down here in the corner. But if I wanted some of the other overlays on, like let's say I wanted, to see fight healing, turn that on, and I don't know where the overlay went. Let's see, oh, there it is. It's on my left monitor. I could bring this on and leave that, up there. Let's go find something to fight. So let's see, I need go around like this. That can probably see me. We'll just bring it with us. Let's see, so if I heal, I assume. Yeah, so this kind of shows the heals and stuff, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Just with that ding there is a moat. I need to get something charmed here to go through this a little bit faster. Or I could, I suppose, just oh geez, we don't want to be here. Give me just a second.
Haste wore off you, maybe you should recast it.
I'm gonna grab this aberrant, heal up, and then we'll fight these things one at a time. Oh, come on. It definitely is a little harder to play when you're not concentrating 100% on the game. I have a dot on that thing? Why is that breaking? Alright, now we'll just start dotting these things up. What am I doing? Why am I not? Oh, there we go. I just hashed myself. That's not what you want to do. Um, yeah, this class, I love this Warrior Shaman Enchanter class. Like, even when I'm just completely messing up how I'm playing, stuff like that happens and you still get through it. It's pretty wild. And I'm sure there's other classes that can do the same.
Recast Puma on you.
You playing EQL right now while watching my stream? I do that a lot. If I'm not streaming, I'm typically trying to find somebody else streaming live just to chat it up and kind of kill the monotony a little bit. Alright, well, we killed some of the roamers, so we should have a little bit easier time. Just need to get to this next building. Hey, Commando, and hey, Syndriel. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome. I'm pretty new to streaming, so I definitely try to pay attention to chat, and I will respond. So give me just a second. But both playing and chatting is something I'm still getting used to. I need to find a better way to uh, overlay the chat in on the stream or on the stream itself, or really more so on the stream and on my screen, so I don't have to look at another screen. But let's see. So, Commander, are you able to still interact? And if so, what level are you able to go up to? Yeah, so I can do D4, pretty easily. I actually stay in offensive stance. And I've actually been able to do that with this class since the first week. I was able to. Now, of course, in the first week, it was certainly a little bit harder than it is now. I'm actually going to kill this pet because then I can
Nothing but problem.
invis and get to my next location easier. But yeah, I've killed all the bosses up through D4. I would say CT is probably still the hardest, but really it's not that much of a problem. And I do have videos on my channel, live stream videos of all of those kills. Some of them are a little bit older than others, so you're welcome to watch those. What class might be able to use AI to add a text-to-speech option? I'm sure you can. You're right, and I have no problem using AI. I use it every day at work, so I'm not. Some people tried to
Recast Puma on you.
purposely kind of stay away from it, but I don't want to be out here. I'm going to get a zillion ads if I stay out here. All I'm doing right now is trying to get to the haunted chest really quick and get some lustrous gear. But yeah, I have seen some streamers that use AI to, you know, read off all the chat, or at the very least just putting it on the stream interface, or at least my interface, yeah, which then goes to the stream so I can actually see it in front of me. What trio are you playing, and what server? Commando and Sidriel. Same with you. If you're still watching, be really interested to know what trio you guys are trying out and how you guys are liking the game so far. I need to just get into this building. If you guys don't mind, I'd love for you to subscribe. Doesn't mean you ever have to come back, but I'm trying to just get more subscribers, kind of build up the channel a little bit. I'm trying to go live 2 to 3 times a week, just kind of showing some play. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to finish this run up, which probably will take another 15 minutes again, where I'm just going around trying to kill these haunted chests. And then I'm going to go kill Yale, all the D0 through D4, just because I haven't done it yet. So my charms typically, and the only reason I don't have a charm right now is because I'm just moving around and sometimes using invis, because I don't want to get bogged down by having to kill a bunch of trash for what I'm trying to accomplish right now. But I've had my charm last, there we go, there's a piece, the entire time. Sometimes it breaks early, but the keys are, you know, you always want to cast charm in overchannel. You typically want to, you know, throw a Tashani on if you have it, or a Malasai if you're a shaman. And then they say giving your pet magic reduction gear, like you can see, I've got my pet with a -10 save magic adamantium band and a -9. There's other stuff you can get as well, but I'm not using it because my charm, it just very rarely, you know, breaks. Great command. I literally love that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And no, you know, it doesn't have to be the last question unless you're pressed for time. I'm just playing, so I've got time to answer questions. I need to get over to this building here now, next, in order to get the next haunted chest, and try to get there without having to fight a lot of roamers. Let's see, which side is he on? He's on this side, right here. Yeah, initially, but I will say now it hasn't been a problem at all. I was going to say that server name didn't sound familiar to me, but I honestly haven't been paying attention to all the server names. I just picked one and went with it.
Recast Puma on you.
Let's see, next target. Not that. This, I might stop here and get this Knight of Interact. This, he's a good charm, but I really don't need it for what I'm doing. There should be a mob in there. Did you say what trio you're playing, Commando? I'm always interested to know what trio people are playing and how the game's going for them. Looking back, I see it. You did say it. So level 39 Shadow Knight Necro Shaman. Shadow Knight Necro Shaman. So you've got your tank, you got your healer, and you got a caster. Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with that. How are you liking that combo so far? Yeah, I'll try and do that. I definitely won't be starting any more characters though, to level up on other servers. I hope they eventually allow people to transfer servers. I don't know. I just think they should almost make like a serverless type architecture where you can jump between them at any time. Uh, you would never want to do that back in the day because it could ruin the economy as people brought, you know, gear over from one server to another. But in this game, it doesn't matter. So it just seems like it should be all about connecting people. Um, even though mostly it's a solo game, but it'd be nice if they had like a common area that anybody from any server
Recast Puma
could
on you.
could go to. I think that'd be pretty cool. And maybe spawn instances and fight with people from whatever server. Yeah, in beta I played warrior, druid, enchanter, and I really liked it. You know, I think with fire elemental and druid damage shields, I think, oh, that reminds me, I'm forgetting this buff. Um, I think I was, something like 39, damage shield or something like that. Maybe 49, but I think 39 sounds better, or sounds more accurate. But I was having a little bit of trouble with the raid bosses in beta. Now that probably was because I just didn't have good gear. Oh, this could end up with a lot of ads. Let's see what happens.
Recast Puma on you.
I may need to run into a house, otherwise I could end up dying here. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna run back into this house. We'll get that ad. Oh, I don't want that ad, but at least I know I'm at a point where I'm going to be able to fight and have a stopping point. But this is where you're gonna see like what the Enchanter can do. I'm gonna charm a Aberrant here. And I'm still in offensive stance. Just get a quick... Oh, I didn't mean to... Let me mez one more time because I did not mean... Alright, and I'm just going to get a slugs on me and then we'll take these guys out. Yeah, so what I did was when this game went live, I leveled a druid I leveled the warrior enchanter druid up to level 25, and then I started on the shaman. So I dropped back down to level 10 and started to level the warrior enchanter shaman. I now have the druid, I think, up to 35. I used them in a stream. I think doing like Mistmore. I think the new Mistmore I used the druid in. And then I leveled up a cleric. I think he's at like 35 with the warrior and the enchanter. I will probably always have an enchanter in the build. I just find it too fun to be able to charm, to be able to AE mez. Some people will say it takes the challenge out of it, and quite honestly, I'm pretty okay with that. I have a lot of dots on me right now. I need to get out of this corner, but I will start to... I might die. I'm gonna die. Oh no! You don't want that on a live stream. That doesn't happen very nice or very often. Yeah, so I do have my jewel craft up. If you look on my channel, I just put out a video on getting the cloak. And so I do have that. I took it off and put it on my cloak of flames. Prove damage 3. So I did that, I think not yesterday, but the day before, so maybe Friday. All right, that was quite embarrassing. That was too much chatting, but I'm gonna keep chatting. I don't care if I die. That's not a big deal. I probably actually should be using Invis to Undead on the first floor now that I think about it. That's been my mistake. I always put this on for extended enhancement. That way I don't have to rebuff very often. Yeah, what I was starting to say about Druid, like I said, it seemed to be a little lacking when I got to the end game compared to what I'm seeing with the Shaman. Yeah, good point. It's really almost nothing that it does, but hey, I say every little thing helps. Gonna do it different. We'll go high elf because the gnome didn't do us justice. Shouldn't be dying like that. Like inner fire, it only gives 20 hit points and like 2 AC, but it's worth casting, I suppose. It's crazy between Enchanter and Shaman, just how many buffs there are. I always do Air Elemental, and then I take the buff off. I just like to be leved pretty much at all times. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So you have Shadow Knight, Necro. What was your third? Was it Shaman? Yeah, Shaman. So you get the slow and all the stats. Yeah. There's some people that are playing a class without any kind of a slow, and I say to those people, um, I guess good luck, but I feel like they're just asking for pain in a game that's supposed to be taking some of the pain out of it. And I'm fine with call it easy mode or whatever. But you could still die. I mean, as powerful as this trio is, you can still bite off more than you can chew, make a bad decision, and die just like any other trio. I should not have died there, honestly. I just was not playing very smart. We're gonna just grab this guy real quick. We want him? No, because can he see me? I don't know why he's not attacking me. Those guys normally are more like regular invis works on them. These things should not be seeing me way up here on the wall. Oh, I didn't realize I was scrolled down here. That is why I had so many more mobs than I thought I did. I was scrolled down on extended target. Where did this guy come from? Alright, let me just get a quick charm. Yeah, I mean, I don't really use slow very much on just normal leveling. Yeah, you are right. I should have been higher up on the wall. And even sometimes shrinking. I'm just being a little careless right now. It's alright. We'll cycle through all these guys, get them down, and move along. Sometimes I forget, too, that I'm in D4, and so everything is hasted, everything is sowed, everything's got thorns. So even though these mobs are pretty easy, you get 10 of them on you, and all of a sudden it's hard. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Up to 10, looks like 10 viewers right now. So yeah, anybody else who's interested in chatting, um,
Nothing but problem.
just going to finish up this haunted chest run, and then I'm just going to go, I think, do Yale. Then might do a couple of quick sky runs. I only have like 3 islands I really need to concentrate on. Let's try and get a couple more pieces knocked out. Yeah, let me go way high on this wall this time. But everything seems to see invis. I think I haven't done this run so many times that I have everything memorized, but I think this is the building I need to go in. Yep. Yep, there it is. Maybe that's the ticket. Just really high up on the wall. Run over top of the building and then just drop down, and anything that might grab aggro I just bring in with me. Let's see, so there's this one, 2 more, and then we're out to go kill Yale real quick. welcome if we have any new streamers. Just playing, really not a huge plan tonight. Just doing this haunted chest run for lustrous armor. Almost done with that. Going to go to Yale, kill that for a few times, and then maybe a sky run. Why is that coming in here? Oh, jeez. In here just chilling in this house thinking I'm safe for a second, and just all kinds of roamers coming in. There's another one. Stuck in this house just killing all the crap. Oh, look at it. There's another one. This is not the house. I almost feel like they learned that people were going to be farming these haunted chests by just concentrating on just these houses, and they decided, look at this, that's another roamer. Let me get out of here somehow. Get up the wall and get out of here, because I got to get all the way down now to the corner house. Yeah, it definitely does not seem safe to just kind of sit in houses, 'cause especially that one, that middle one there, that was like 5 things roamed in there in the course of 30 seconds. Puma is wearing off, so we'll recap.
Recast Puma on you.
I already did, I'm way ahead of you. And we have one more, which is this L kind of backwards thing right here. So we'll see how much we aggro by getting to it. Maybe nothing, and then I get that imp. Little evil imp. Wish the imp was more powerful. I'd love to charm it and just run around with that little tiny thing, but they are pretty weak. Yeah, just kind of fell over. I don't even know why those things are here. Might be because they see invis or something. Alright, so we got a few pieces. Oh, I might as well kill these two. These drop. These can drop Indolosite armor. I don't want to get too distracted. That's not what I came here for, but if there's... Yeah, there's a few up. I'll just kill this one and then go do something else. What do we got for AAs? Got 5 AAs. I think the next thing I'm going to work on... What was I thinking? I was thinking... Not steadfast will. What's the other one that lets you recover persistent casting? Yeah, so just gonna keep going with this one until it's maxed out. So now I gotta train another 6. All right, so that's good enough for in here for right now. Let's do a port to... My mind went blank. Toxilla, right? To go to the hole. Take out Yale. I do have a couple more raid encounters with CT 0, 1, and 2. I just hate clearing the ads and doing CT. It just takes so long and it's kind of a pain.
Recast Puma on you.
But I want more of the 10 slot bags for my bank, so I definitely want to kill all instances every week that give the full loot amount. Am I thinking wrong? Did I go to the wrong place? Oh, my map is... That's weird. I don't remember the map being... I don't remember going down to get to Payneel last time I came here. Weird. Let's see. Sacer Z, do you have an idea for all your best inside items for War Shaman Enchanter combo? I have an idea. Might as well kind of talk about it a little bit while we're running here. You know, let's just start with earrings. So this is the new earring that came out with the revamp to Mistmore. And I would say potentially that is one of the best in slots, especially if you're looking for like strength and HP. If you need intelligence and wisdom or something else, there might be something better. On the other side, the Earring of Bashing from Inaric seems to be best in slot, I would say, especially as you start to level it up. You can also do some jewel craft earrings here to get some HP, especially if you just plus 10 them and make a bunch of them. But this is pretty easy to get, especially once you've leveled to 50. If you go back to Mistmore, you can. I think I camped this for maybe 20 minutes and got it up to a plus 7. Well, not 20 minutes, but maybe 10 times or something, because it's a pretty common drop. And let me just get in here, get the raid started, start fighting Yale, and then we can look at some of the other stuff if you're sticking around. Sacer. And just let me know if you're still here. I don't mind going over even if you're not, but give it a priority to keep going with that description. Let's just start on a 4. And I think, let me check. I need to check. I don't remember if I need to spend another void token before I kill this. Let me take a look. Yeah, okay, great. Yep, give me a second. We'll go over some more stuff. So those were the earrings. That's what I found so far, I think, are best in slot. Okay, I do have one empty token, void token slot. Let's see, does anything need a rebuff? Let's just get my haste up. And read clarity. Those are my shortest shortest buffs. Everything else should be pretty good for a while. But I think I'm just going to get my pet up, because why not? Oops, okay. I think necklaces you can do a bunch of different things. Right now I'm using this Bloodstar pendant +5. Um, I I'm probably going to start, and I'm missing some kind of key buff. Oh, it looks like rage. Looks like rage got debuffed probably by those golems. I can't wait. They did say they were going to fix the debuffing of stuff like that. You know what? We're going to just charm this guy. Looks like he's already hasted. And rage is about done. So let's just go fight. Just going to dot this guy, and this will actually pretty much kill him, but it'll also pull Yale. As soon as I get the fight kind of going here, we'll look at more gear. Get them all dotted up. Just gonna get a slugs on myself. Uma on myself. Oh, what is he, a Beast Lord? Oh, come on. Get this rage on, then I gotta get a slow memmed again. Not a slow, a cure. I didn't get it on that one. No. There we go. Too much in a rush, didn't even look at what class he was in. Alright, now we can at least get some melee going. Get our dots back on. He slowed me again. Oh, what a pain. I don't know that I've ever fought Yale, even on D4, where he had a slow, making this take a zillion years. But typically when I do things with triple class, I take a little bit more time in Mem, Theft of Thought, and Wandering Minds, and I suck their mana a lot faster. Mem my third dot, but I didn't really prepare for this fight at all, because typically it's not a problem. Slowed again, so we'll abolish again. He's almost out of mana. Somehow he's like slowing instantly. I don't know if he's got something that's proccing a slow.
Recast Puma on you.
Alright. He's out of mana now, so it should go down pretty fast. Alright, let's go back to looking at gear while we finish this up. Mask. I like this dark brood mask. I've got it at a +6. I think this is from Innie as well. Again, I think there are some other choices, so you could go a different way. On what I was starting to
That
say
wasn't so terrible, was it?
is, I'm already well past the strength max, so I'm starting to look at where I need to swap stuff out to get more stamina. I'd rather have my stamina at the 510 cap and get my strength lowered a little bit. Indolosite Helm, I would say, is probably, I mean, some people may say it's not best in class. It's certainly the highest AC, but I'm well over the cap, so I could move to something with health on this. So I'd say this is potentially not best in slot. Engineer's Ring, I would say definitely is best in slot. Just get out of this instance real quick. I think part of it too is what you're trying to accomplish. Do you want more mana? Do you want more health? Do you want more resist? I will say I've killed everything in the game. I kill everything in the game with pretty good ease. You can see I'm staying in offensive stance. I'm not even really kind of paying attention or setting up for the fights anymore like I was early on. Just kind of going through the motions and trying to do different things that are challenging. We'll get this fight started, and then we'll keep looking at that gear. So just give me a second. Thank you for joining. Feel free to subscribe. I try to go live 2 to 3 times a week, and then I've started to make other content. So far, I've made a short guide on how to get the white dragon scale cloak. So check out the channel for that. And then if you play a shaman, I just put out today what seems to be a pretty popular video so far, a guide on which buffs stack to get the maximum amount of stats. So if you play a shaman, check that out. I think I'm just going to get my pet up just for the ease. Another Beast Lord, so we're going to be slowed half the time again. To keep an eye on that this time. Move this over here. Kind of keep going through it as we kind of watch what's going on. Where did we leave off? So yeah, Engineer's Ring was the first thing I plus 10'd. I thought that was, definitely going to be best of slot. Using this bracer, I think this is maybe an Inno bracer, but I don't remember. So strength, wisdom, charisma. I like a lot of charisma for the charms. But again, no stamina, right? And so maybe it's not best in slot. It does give good fire and cold resist. Dolosite Van Bracers, strength and dex. Again, no stamina, but just high AC. Definitely these are best in slot because they have stamina and HP and AC. So definitely Indolosite Gauntlets for Warrior. Indolosite Bracer, again, highest AC you can probably get on a Bracer, strength and dex. Certainly like dex for, making sure we do a lot of Puma procs. Ring of Pure Blood. Again, I don't remember exactly where that's from, but strength, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. So because I'm Shaman and Enchanter, I get mana from both wisdom and intelligence, I believe. And it's got hit points and mana, so I'd say that's probably best in slot for a ring. Pauldrons of Power right now. Warriors do have pretty good sky shoulders, but I haven't leveled them up, so they're not. I don't think they're better than these, at least currently. Got 48 HP, some mana, strength, intelligence. I wish more things had stamina on them. Certainly, Indolosite breastplate, highest AC, strength, stamina, and dex. So I'd say that's probably best. Just get some more stuff cast here. Cloak of Flames I don't think is best in slot. I do have the Warrior Sky Belt. But when I swapped it out,
Recast Puma on you.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
there was some issue. I don't remember where I lost health or something that I think I just think I needed to level it up more, or maybe I needed something else. I have to look back into it, but eventually this will get swapped out for um, one of the better cloaks. I think it was because I could not put this Burning Affliction 3 on the Sky Belt. That's what it was. Because this is Cleric, Druid, Bard, Shaman. Well, actually, the focus effect. Yeah, is Cleric, Druid, Bard, Shaman, Necro, Wiz, Mage, Enchanter, and the Warrior only belt is whoops. The Warrior only belt is of course Warrior only. So I could not put this on there. I don't want to lose that, and so I'm trying to figure out a better way to do it. But it meant I couldn't use the Warrior Sky Belt and then change out my haste cloak. But we'll figure something out. And Dolosite Greaves, I think best in slot. This is probably one of the next things I'll use my voids on next week. Boots, maybe there's better boots out there with stamina. I'm not sure. Um, I like the two-hander, so I've got Fangul plus 10. That was the first thing I plus 10. This is best in slot. The new Soldier's Brooch. Got this one to plus 6. I was using the idol of the Underking from the rat in the hole. And these I'm still playing around with as well. I've got a Blade Stopper because it's got 24 stamina, 40 AC, and 81 HP. So how can you go wrong with that? And then in the other one, I've got a Lustrous Russet Breastplate because it's got good AC, the 22 strength, stamina, and 22 dexterity. So I mean, again, I don't know that they are all highly optimized in the final best in slot items, so I'm still playing around with it. But you can see with the shaman buffs and look, I think now what am I missing? I'm missing something. Might just have to restart an instance and then do a whole rebuff because I don't know what I'm missing. But definitely missing some strength there. Any questions on any of that, Seir? Yeah. I'm starting to try and farm a lot of the lustrous just for if I go back and level up a paladin or a shatter knight. I want to be able to have those options. Just because, and that's another reason why I haven't been so quick to plus 10 my warrior gear because I don't want to then go and level a paladin, drop the warrior, and then I've got plus 10 gear sitting in the bank. That seems crazy. I'll show it once I finish this zone. My face item, that is. There was another one that was pretty good as well. I don't remember why I stopped using it, but let's take a look as soon as we're done zoning. So my plan with leveling other classes is always going to have an Enchanter because I just love it. I love being able to start at level 10 as soon as I get charmed or charm. I'm then, let's say I'm in Befallen, I'm then going basically to the bottom floor of Befallen. I'm charming a red mob that is, 14 levels higher than me, and I'm fighting all red mobs that are 14, 12 to 14 levels higher than me. I then move to Lower Gook or Split Paw, and same thing. So this is the mask I'm using, the Dark Brood mask. So Triumphant mask. Is that the golden one? It's gold and looks like this mask, but it's gold. Yeah, and I don't. So strength, intelligence, wisdom, agility, charisma. See if I have that in at my bank or in storage. Sometimes I keep stuff like that in storage, but I don't, just so I can do a quick upgrade on it. Yeah, this one right here. So let's compare the two since I have this one to a +5. So it's 2 more AC. I would lose the 11 intelligence. And I would gain a strength, agility, charisma. The save magic is nice. I actually didn't notice that it had 31 save magic. I will say that's quite nice, but I would lose poison, disease, cold, and fire, which arguably are not as helpful. And then I would lose 81 mana. So my mana right now is at 5205, so I go down to 5012, so I lose a little under 200. I gain 1 AC. I gain strength, which I don't need. But I do gain that magic resist. 179 magic resist. So that's not bad. Something I'm definitely going to have to think about. And I will say, those are the things I need to take time to really think about and do some changing. Like, what do I really need in mana? I almost never cannibalize anymore. And that's just free mana. And I mean, with you know 41 base regen with clarity on, I very rarely need to cannibalize anymore. So I probably don't need a huge mana pool. So if I kept it at 5,000, that's what I need to do. I need to start saying, okay, here's what I don't want to go below for certain stats, and then start optimizing. Like, oh, I don't want to go below 5,000 mana or such and such endurance. Good, now I don't have to worry about slow, finally. But yeah, and then really even strength, like I can start saying, okay, again, I'm missing something. Let's try and figure that out as well during this fight once we just get a couple more things going. Uma on myself. What am I missing with strength? I've got rage on. Oh, the actual strength buff somehow either wore off, which is weird because that should be a really long duration buff. So it's, I don't know if something somehow stripped it. Yeah, you're right. Say Sir, I haven't spent, like I said, I haven't spent too much time really like looking at min-maxing the gear just because it's pretty easy to kill everything with this class now. But it is something I want to start doing because, as they come out with new content, as Kunart comes, I want to be in the best, possible shape. They hinted at some new things coming in the last roundtable. You know, dungeon clears, that's kind of a lot of the times the way I play dungeons is I like to just, I've got one video out where I did a full split paw clear and then I did a whole Mistmore clear. I'm already kind of doing that, but they're talking about giving rewards for that now. They've talked
Well,
about
that wasn't so terrible, was it?
a D5 raid. Do I even want to do this on D0 and D1? He doesn't drop any bags. Don't really need anything from him. All I'm really trying to do is upgrade the Earthshaker. Yeah, I mean, it only takes a few minutes, so just because I need more Earthshakers. I agree. I don't know if you listened to the panel roundtable they had a couple days ago. What the developers were talking about, they have a version of D5. I don't know what that means, but they said it was really, really hard. So it must not just mean they added more health, right? Because if they're casting the same things and they just added health, then that I just don't see how that could be that hard compared to what it is in D4 right now that everybody's just kind of walking over. So maybe they made the mobs smarter, right? And so they're not casting immobilize over and over or other crappy, spells that aren't going to help them win the fight. And they're just acting a little bit more like
Recast Puma on you.
A player character would. But some of the things I would love to see, along with the full dungeon clears being, a thing that you should strive for and get rewards for, I'd love to see a ladder system where, let's say you go to fight any or you fight Yale and you start at D0, and as soon as D0 is over, he spawns again. You can't med, you can't change spells. You got to fight a D1, and then a D2, and then a D3, and a D4. And that's where people would really be spending time min-maxing and getting that optimal sustainability build to where you could last, as long as you could and see how far up that ladder you could get. But they need to figure out a way. Well, how do we go from D4 to D5? Do we just add health? Do we add 10% more damage to their DPS? And they could find a formula to do that, and there'll be a ceiling for a little while where nobody can get past a D6, Yale, and then all of a sudden somebody will have 9,000 health and be doing 800 DPS a second or something, or find the right mob to charm or whatever it is, the right strategy or the right class combo, and all of a sudden they'll pass it, right? And then the bottleneck will be a D7 until Kunart comes out, and then you get more gear and better spells
so
and
terrible,
all
was
this
it?
stuff. And then next thing you know, there people are going back and they're like, oh, I'm going to climb the ladder again, and now I can get to a D9 Yale, right? And maybe they're dropping moats, they're dropping a D9 moat, or it'd be cool to be fighting a D9 CT and he drops a D9 something, whatever item you want, or a D9 Earthshaker, and you don't have to spend all your time upgrading it, whatnot. But I think that would be cool, just to see. You want something, in my opinion, that it's just auto scaling until, nobody can beat it. And then, a couple expansions come out, you get more powerful. Now you can go back and you can beat it, but it's still auto scaling. I think that would be super fun. All right, let's just do this last run and get out of here. Go do a quick sky run. Although I should do maybe before sky. I do still need to do, I think, CT 01, maybe 2. I got to check my logs or my instance timers. And the only reason I'm doing CT is because I want the boxes. Or the bags, whatever he drops for 10 slotters. Need more bag space. So what class did you say you were playing, Sacer? Were you playing War, Shaman, Enchanter as well? Scrolling back to see. Guess you didn't say that I can see. So let me know just what class you're playing if you're playing the exact same thing. It's a really good class. It's not something that I even really thought about, like, oh, is it going to be the meta? Back in original EQ in 1999 to 2003, I was 4-boxing at the time, and this was back when not a lot of people actually, played multiple characters at once, and there was no applications that I was aware of for making it easier. I actually had 4 different computers that I had built, each one, with its own monitor, and I played them all at once, and I played Warrior, Enchanter, Cleric, and Wizard, and the Wizard mostly just was porting me around. I don't even think I stood him up most of the time in Newt, because I was mostly just charming stuff in like the Plains of Power and farming armor and stuff. And so when it came time to pick a trio, I was like, hey, I can play those 3 classes. I had originally planned on Warrior, Cleric, Enchanter, but then started to think about it and what I would lose. Right, I wanted Sao, I wanted Port. So in beta, before they came out with rituals, it was Warrior, Druid, Enchanter, and I really like that. I got the dots, I got the heals that I wanted, got the ports that I wanted, and so I was kind of stuck with Druid until they came out with rituals, and then I knew, okay, well, I can just play a Druid until I get the rituals, and then I can try a Shaman.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
And then I just fell in love with the Shaman. I mean, just, you get your Sao, you get so many, um, so many buffs that you're maxing out your stats way quicker than you could otherwise. Yeah, there's my 545. So you can see, like, I do need to relook at my gear and kind of start to rebalance. I really want to get the stamina up. But I don't want to lose a lot of dex either, because you get a lot of damage from the Puma proc and Earthquake proc and stuff. Started with War, Shaman, Necro, but after trying Enchanter, I ain't going back. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, where am I going next? Let's go do Fear real quick. 8 clearing the ads in Fear. Druid and Wizard. I need to go back and level a Wizard. I don't know. You know what I'm waiting on? What I figured out is I always want a Knight class in the Enchanter. So I always want Warrior and not Warrior, Warrior, Paladin, Shadow Knight, and Enchanter. So one of those. Um, and then I always want a healer, some kind of heals, with every trio. So if I'm charming, I've got some kind of heals. So I'm I've got one more item from the Spirit Lord or Spirok Lord in Sky to unlock the Paladin as a primary. And then going to level the Paladin, so War Paladin Enchanter. Once the Paladin gets to 50, then I'm probably going to go ahead and level the Wizard. So then I'll level Paladin, Wizard, Enchanter, Paladin, maybe Necro, Enchanter. Or I might go
Recast Puma on you.
Shadow, level a Shadow Knight, and then level a um, have the Shaman and Enchanter with the Shadow Knight, something like that. But I always want to keep those. I ended up replacing it with Earthshaker not too long ago because it seemed like the Earthshaker was procking a little bit more and doing more damage. I think that's what I have on there. Yeah, right now I have Earthshaker on there. Fangle just didn't seem to be procking, very much at all. Is there a map setting that flips? Ah, wait, no, is that doing it? What is that? Is there a map setting that flips your map upside down? Because my maps, I swear, are upside down. I know that I always run up to get the fear. I thought. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just tired. But I found the same thing when I was just running to Peniel. I always thought I ran up to go to Peniel. Oh well. Yeah, I was very disappointed. Very glad I could take it off of it. And there might be something better than Earthshaker. I don't know. But I mean everything, and I mean everything pales in comparison to Puma. It's really hard to give up a shaman as well. Like cleric would make it. I used to think, okay, I want to go cleric because then I'll be able to stick an offensive stance more. Because right, you could just put promise renewal on, and every 18 seconds, you're just going to get back to full health, and you can melee the rest of the time. But you're losing so much, and the cleric adds, from what I've seen, nothing besides maybe the buff that cuts your. It's called languid, something. I don't remember exactly. I think I have that wrong, but it reduces your cast time by 50%, and that's fun. But it just adds no damage. There's no dots there. Um, it's just all about sustainability. So again, you might find in a ladder system that that's what you need, right? You can give up the shaman stuff because it might be finite, but with cannibalize, it's not finite. And it'll be really interesting once the Mana Stone comes out, which they said is coming out soon. They said it was in the game once, and it had a bug in it. It's back to my small map. It had a bug in it, so they took it out. So it'll be interesting to see how they implement the Mana Stone. But I mean, with a warrior, I haven't even really been trying to get my regen up. I'm not wearing any regen gear, and I'm at 88 regen. I go into unyielding, and then I'm at 176. If I put chloroplast on, I'm even higher. And so I could be sitting in that thing just, hitting mana stone every time I'm full health and probably never run out of mana. Yeah, I think I'm probably the same way. I mean, except for just leveling up classes just because, just to level them. Let's see. Let me just want to see which ones I'm locked out of from max rewards. Is the I forget how to open instance information. Okay. All right. Neil, Permafrost, Plane of Fear. Oh, these are all okay. So CT Solo 3. Well, maybe I only did 4. Looks like I only did 4 and 5 earlier in the week. So we will do 2. Hey, have a great night. Say, Siri, what server are you on if you're not gone so far already? I didn't see. I'm playing on Halas. Be cool if you were, but so I know there's lots of servers, so probably not. All right. See, right now we're at 13 viewers, which I think is my high. I haven't been streaming for very long. I just got back into streaming after not streaming for about 5 years. I started to stream this game, so trying to build up an audience again. Oh, you're on Halas. That's awesome. Maybe we'll see each other sometime. Even though I mostly solo, but I'm not opposed to grouping, doing some low level loot or moat farming, for example. I'm gonna rebuff before I start these, just because I don't know what's worn off and what hasn't. Might as well. So yeah, anybody else who's watching, feel free to subscribe. I try to go live 2 or 3 times a week, and I've started to try and make short content guides and videos. So I am not the most knowledgeable person about EverQuest. I've had, and before EQL came out, I hadn't played it in 23 years. So I was, in the original beta and played it up to um, Gates of Discord, I believe, which was a very, very buggy expansion when it came out. Then moved to WoW in 2020 or 2003, 2004. Oh, great, Jack. And my youngest son is named Jack, so he's 12 and his name's Jack. So glad to have you. Let me see. Let me get this buffed up and get this started and move on to the next thing. Okay, we got that. Yeah, so back when I left EQ, like it was kind of the turn, right? When right before, WoW came out, people were leaving the game in droves already. And I actually attended the first player summit in at SOE headquarters. They invited some of the guild leaders from all the head guilds on different servers, and so I was the representative from Inner Circle of the Zagani server, and that was cool. We got to go out there. We had a bunch of, they paid our way for flights, hotels, everything, and I think they continued that after, but I really wasn't following it. But that was a pretty cool experience to see their headquarters, see the server room they had back in the day, just racks and racks of servers running the game. Get a little bit of time, with the devs, and they made a bunch of promises, but myself and pretty much everybody else in the guild moved to WoW shortly after that. So I'm not even sure. I thought the game would die. I mean, I followed the game but never played it again. it amazed me that it's lasted all of this time. And then this game came out, and I was instantly intrigued about this concept of the trio. Um, and I'm just having a blast. I love it, getting to go back to zones that I know I was in, but barely remember, because 2 decades is a long time when you're 50, and that's how old I am now. Um, and then there's zones that I really didn't, even though I leveled probably 5 characters to max level. Um, there's zones that I just didn't use because I basically just kind of always leveled the same way in the same zones. You know, I'd use I think I had mostly high elves, dwarves, gnomes, so I was kind of always starting on this side of the world. You know, kind of the Butcher Block, Feydark, Felworth kind of area. So it was always Crushbone, Unrest, um, traveling across the world, then going to Lower Gook. But I also soloed a lot back then, so I did a lot of things in outdoor zones. I just find a camp that I liked, and just sat there and killed, and then met it up and killed again. So now, like, I love doing just dungeon crawls where I go into, Split Paul or Mistmore, set it to non-respawning, and I just try and clear the whole zone while I'm learning it. And I've got some videos out there, showing that, and I just find that to be um, an amazing way to experience the game, and kind of learn a zone, and discover the NPCs and stuff. All right, so what I do here is I try to always pull these things from the base, these minis from the base of the tunnel or the temple. I appear to get the least amount of ads, and if I do get ads, I just either charm them or mez them, so it's not really a big deal. But I do find just all of these ads, of all the minis, I do find this to be the biggest, kind of pain to clear these all. And I do need to remember to mem cure disease, because it's the worst when the Dracula or whatever that thing is called slows you, and it just takes forever to kill. Let's see, I need to get Puma going. Also put a Puma on the pet. When I fight CT, I don't normally, a lot of people will use a charm. I typically just use a pet. I just find it a little bit easier. And of course, this is only D2, so I'm not too worried about it. D4 can sometimes be a little bit sketchy if things go wrong. So Jack Carlson, if you're still here, what class, what trios are you playing? What trio are you playing? And what server are you on?
There, that wasn't so
Nothing
terrible,
but
was it?
problem.
I don't know where he is going. It's interesting. Saturday night clear. I just finished the sky test this week and not really sure what to do. I gotcha. So you've got basically everything unlocked now? I'm down to, after this fight, I'll bring up my EQ companion, kind of show you what I'm down with to. Mostly just one thing on just about every class that I have not unlocked yet. And I try to do 2 to 3 quick runs, per day and get what I get and then get out of there. And it'll all come eventually, but I don't really want to farm it. I've got the items that I want. The only item I'm trying to get right now is I want to get the
Recast Puma on you.
I've got one more paladin quest to finish. It's from the Spirok Island. And I've just sat on that island for an hour to 2 hours at a time before just respawning it over and over and just had no luck. Just doesn't seem like this guy should take this long to kill. You enjoying the Shadow Knight Cleric Enchanter? I imagine it's really hard to die with with that build. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the fix they kind of came up for it, or they said that they were coming out with soon.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
I don't agree.
Nothing but problem.
I don't agree that it's the best. It's the best fix. They said that basically they're going to make it to where one of your trio, whatever trios you have, every boss will drop one item, one extra item, for that trio as a guarantee. There'll still be the. Let me just make sure I start this kind of the right way here. Try and get this before. I don't know what's happening with. Why are they? They've never done that before. They run off and then come back. I don't know what that's about. It does give you more time to kind of get them debuffed and whatnot, but that's weird. Yeah, is that what you're finding? Yeah. What about the cleric? Are you leveling something else up now to go with the cleric? If you haven't tried Shaman yet, it's it definitely adds a lot.
Recast Puma on you.
Not being very efficient with my man. I'm not barely paying attention here. Which if this was a D4, I would have to kind of pay more attention when clearing these things. I think I'm actually
There, that wasn't so terrible.
I'm actually
was
going
it?
to keep this Scareling. Haste up. I'm going to cure up. And then I just got to run around. I think I've killed all the minis. But I just need to run around and make sure I got all the ads. No, he doesn't need. Yeah, like I could, if you were playing a wizard or a magician, something with a lot of like nukes, I could definitely see the cleric adding a lot because of the haste it gets on spells. The fact that it can wear a plate, the fact that the wisdom is going to add mana. So like a cleric, enchanter, wizard maybe could be interesting, where you just don't care about melee damage at all. You've got your crowd control, you've got your clarity for mana regen. Um, you've got a pet, could be an interesting. I hate that. So look, it took my slugs off and it took my sow buff off with the attack buff. Still at 13 viewers, it's always hard to tell like how many of those are real viewers, how many are AI bots. But I have had a few people chatting today, which is kind of fun. That's really the main reason I started it. I watch other streamers, and it's kind of fun to just chat with people while you're playing. Not even sure if you need to clear these once you've killed all the minis, if all these ads don't come. But it's not something I really want to chance.
Recast Puma on you.
Oh, I guess I never killed Terror. So here he comes. Awesome. Who cares? What? Thanks for stopping by, watching. Don't know how entertaining it is or how much information you're getting, but really appreciate you spending the time. What trio are you playing? Assuming you're playing EQL at all. It looks like they all killed the charm pet there. That's okay. I'll just cast my pet and use it for CT. Alright, so I really don't need these anymore. Let's see if we can get the pet up while we're fighting in between attacks. Make this go a little bit faster. No, I appreciate that Jack. I get it. I don't talk too much on streams either when I'm just watching. Beast Lord with
There,
your
that wasn't so
Shadow
terrible,
Knight
was it?
Druid 50s. Okay. What was your original I think that should be the last of the ads. Oh no, there's a couple more over here. I need to kill these and then I need to AFK for like 30 seconds to let my dog out. I can hear him whining downstairs. And then I'll go fight CT and then do this all again on D0 and D1 because I really just want the bags. That's the only reason that I'm doing these lower level CT raids. All right, so give me 1 second. I will be right back.
Recast Puma on you.
Okay, so I'm back. So if you stuck around, thank you. Got my pet spawned while I was waiting for the dog to come back in. Oh, it's getting late. Sorry for the yawn. Mixed game, Mike. Hey, Mike. Mixed game. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's cool. Grab. Appreciate you chatting. Appreciate you watching. I know it's it's not all about everybody having to chat, but it is it's just nice to know that somebody's at least watching once in a while. All right, let me just make sure. I mean, he's only a D2, so I'm not too worried about it. But let me just make sure I got everything I need here. Yeah, it should be good. So. First trio to 50 was Shatter Knight, Druid, Enchanter. Nice, who cares? Yeah. What? I don't know why I just cast Incapacitated again. Do you think he'll ever play anything without an Enchanter? I say no, and Jack was just saying no. He's always going to have Enchanter, so I think I'll always have a tank class and an Enchanter. So Warrior, Paladin, Shadow Knight, one of the three. But I'm still working on SkyQuest to unlock the Paladin and the Shadow Knight, so I haven't been able to switch it out and really level up either of them.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
So right now your work, let's see, first Druid 50 was Shadow Knight, Druid, Enchanter right now. Oh, Beast Lord. How are you liking Beast Lord? I only hear kind of negative stuff about it where people just say it's just not great. No bags. So now we gotta do it all again. Time is at 11:30. Okay, I can do these. Do a D0, D1. That'll be all my CTs for the week, and then probably a sky run or two, probably 2 runs. Just gonna leave my pet up this time, I think. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, if you don't, I hate asking, but if you want to hit that subscribe button, um, you may have already heard me say it. I'm trying to go live 2 to 3 times a week. Going to start trying to create more content. So I've put out. Um, I think Jack was the one that was saying he watched my Shaman buff video today, just talking about which buff stack.
Recast Puma on you.
And I've done one on the White Dragon Scale Cloak quest. And I have some others in mind. along with just kind of, going live and just kind of playing. We'll start with Terra this time, I guess, because that's who's up. No ads on that one. That's interesting. So who cares says Enchanter just brings so much value to the trio, it's hard to overlook it for anything.
Recast Puma on
B-Sword doesn't
Zontic.
seem that bad to me, but you don't know in what context those people are using their pets. True. True. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to think about giving up the Enchanter unless what you really want is a challenge, or more of a challenge, or you just always were dead set on, hey,
There, that wasn't so terrible,
I just
was it?
want to be a, all casters or something, or all melee or something. But I always played an Enchanter, so it would seem just completely silly to me if I didn't play one in a trio. I played one on live EverQuest, back in the day. I don't know what is going on with the way these things are pathing today. Oh, these are the worst. The way these things teleport you around is just the absolute worst. Maybe if I get my pet to take aggro.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Halbard, Mage. It's been interesting. Nice. Somebody asked me on one of my guides. They said, "Hey, I'd love for you to make
Recast Puma on you.
a buff guide on bards." And I said, "I've never played a bard, a day in my life. So, maybe I can make a guide someday." And that is on my wish list, is to, kind of, play a bard and learn it and stuff. But I really know nothing about how a bard works at the moment. Nor mage. I mean, that's, I think, one of the fun things about this is there's a lot of classes that I never played. In original EQ, I played, 2 max level from the, when I left the game. I had played, I think I just double cast dots on Draculech. First character was a wizard. Wizard absolutely sucked back then. It was, especially because I did a lot of soloing. It was really like soloing for, 5 minutes, and then medding for 10 minutes, and then soloing for 5 minutes. And back then, I don't know how early some of you played the game, but you had to look at the spell book. Like literally, when you sat down to med, the game filled up your entire screen of just the spell book. So it was like, I don't know what designer thought that made sense, from a gameplay perspective, but it was like that for many years, until finally somebody realized this is kind of ridiculous. But that's what you did. You meted and you looked at the spell book. Got that class to 50. We started to do raids like Nagafin and Vox, and half of the wizard spells wouldn't even hit a dragon back then. Ice Comet was absolute trash. It would almost never hit.
There, that wasn't so
And
terrible, was
you
it?
just kind of felt, kind of worthless, as somebody who was bringing no value to the team. And so the next class I leveled up was an Enchanter. Not a lot of
Recast Puma on Zontic.
not a lot of direct damage or anything like that, but your ability to control a fight with Mez, and then as you got more skilled with using charm, you were actually doing a lot of damage that way. What a full CT yet. And then once I got that to 50 plus and onwards to 60 or 70, whatever the level was that back then, I then leveled a Ogre Warrior. Nylak was the name of that guy. Got him up to max level, did a lot of main tanking for the guild, so tanked a lot of the end game stuff through Planes of Power. I had a cleric given to me that was already post 50. And then I leveled a rogue up to 50 plus, but I never really played him outside of just leveling him. And I think that's it. And then when I would, with 4-box on my own soloing, it would always be the warrior, the cleric, the enchanter, and the wizard. And just charming with the enchanter, meleeing and taunting with the warrior, so that when charm inevitably broke, you know, the warrior could grab it off the enchanter, so the enchanter could recharm. So this fantasy of playing, you know, a warrior, healer, and enchanter all at the same time in the same class. Once I knew that was a possibility, I was like, I'm in. I am sold on this game. Yeah, I'm on Halas server, Jack. Yeah, same thing. Who cares? Like you said, your first was a wizard, and I mean, I remember it as being just awful at the time. I think a few expansions in, they definitely got better, but
There, that wasn't so terrible,
I
was it?
remember early on they were just not good. So this is an interesting story I don't really tell too often. I don't know how many people are still listening, but back in 2000, which was right the first year, you know, that EQ came out. There is a bug, by the way, with these Glare Lords that I've seen. Like, if I charm this, there's times where the charm will break somehow, and I can't see him as a pet, but he is still charmed, so he's not attacking me. He will attack anything that attacks me, and then I can charm something else. I did post
Recast
it.
Puma on Zontic.
I posted it in the Discord as a bug with screenshots, so I'm not going to try and do it because that would at this point be exploiting. But I did have 2 pets for a little while, 2 charm pets one day. Oh, back in the day. Yeah, I was on the Zagani server. I was in the guild Inner Circle. Interesting enough, I've always my first character was a wizard, you know, back in 1999 on EverQuest, named Kalen. And when I made my enchanter, I just reversed it and came up with Nylak. And I've used that name now in just countless MMOs. And I was playing Crusaders of Light, which was a fantastic game, and it's kind of crazy that it just kind of went away after all the development time they put in. It was almost the perfect game, except for how much they monetized the paywall. But I ran into somebody from my EQ days in probably like 2015, so it had been like 12 or 14 years, and that person recognized my name and said, "Hey, did you ever play EverQuest?" And I said, "Yeah." And we got to talking, and it was somebody I'd played EverQuest with for a few years. So that's why I always try and use this name, just for the rare case that you might run into somebody you remember. Who cares said, I was so captivated with the game, I didn't know what was good or not to play. I'd never seen anything like it. Yeah, you are. I think that's the feeling a lot of us had, is there was so much immersion in that game, and it was a lot of the danger, like I try to explain it to people. What that game did was it got your heart pounding. I don't know if you remember that, but there's certain encounters you would have where like you'd get done with them and it'd be like, man, I gotta take a walk. I have to take a break. Um, Years later, once like WoW came out and they really kind of softened up the way that MMOs worked and that went away, the only thing that got that feeling back for me was PvP. Now
Recast Puma on you.
I'm not a fan of like open world PvP just because if I get into the game and I'm doing something, I just I just don't, I just find that people like in open world PvP games typically just grieve you, right? It's like they'll sit in the shadows waiting for you to be out of mana because you just fought, three things or something, and then they'll attack, right? It's never fair fights. I like organized PvP where you're zoning in for that purpose. And that's what everybody's there for. I really like that. But that got my heart pounding. Um, but yeah, there was just something about exploring EverQuest in the early days that was unlike anything else. The world just seemed so big. It was so dangerous with real consequences, right? Not real consequences that like it was going to hurt you in real life, but it was going to hurt your time. If you got in a bad situation and couldn't get your corpse back, and you were like, man, I just spent 2 weeks getting that gear and getting that person up to level 12 or whatever, or level 14 or 15. Um, and then it was gone. Unless you could get it back. So you'd really be worried that you couldn't get it back then. And so I can remember a couple of very clear things. So I was telling this story just in a chat the other day. I was playing my wizard. I was a high elf wizard, so I started, on this side of the continent, I guess, or not even this side of the continent, but in the Feydark, Felworth, area, Kelton area, Butcher Block, those kind of zones. And I got to level 14, and at level 14, I got invisibility back then. And I thought, well, you know what? There's got to be other zones, right? And back then, we were playing mostly on dial-up, right? And so there wasn't a lot of guides out there. There were some, sites that started to pop up, but you just kind of had to explore. You had your map. You had your map that came with the game, and you actually looked at that map and went, what else is in the world that I need to go find? And so I thought, I'm going to travel across the world, right? And so, I had a wizard, so I had no sow. I'm sticking to the walls. Even though I had a high elf, I don't remember if the high elf could, had like that. I don't know what I'm doing on this fight right now. I'm not dotting, not doing anything. Um, but I guess it's only a D1. But let me at least get some heals going. Um, so anyway, I'm traveling. I take the boat. Of course, I fall off the boat. I then, I'm stuck in the water. I have to swim for hours to get anywhere. Maybe a GM came and helped me, but I get to the other continent, and I don't remember the exact path I took, but I ended up trying to go through Highhold Pass.
Recast Puma on you.
And as I'm going through Highhold Pass, one of the gnolls sees me, breaks my invis, and kills me. And of course, in classic EverQuest, when you die,
There, that wasn't so
you
terrible, was
lose experience. And so, can I just sell these? I don't need any more. And so I lose my ability to cast invis, and my corpse is like halfway through High Pass Hold with these roamy gnolls, and I had no idea what to do. And so, of course, I had no gear on my body, um, no ability to cast invis again because I had de-leveled, right? I was now level 13. No ability to
Recast Puma on Zontic.
get that level back because I really had no gear and I was in zones that luckily I had bound, I think, right outside of that zone, if I remember right. So I didn't have to make the full run back. I was kind of binding, as I went. But I remember spending hours going in there, learning the pathing. Something would aggro me. I'd make it back to the zone because I'd keep my distance and just creeping up a little bit at a time, learning the timing, learning the pathing until I got back to my body. And I don't even remember, maybe who cares if you're still here, you remember if they had if they even had slash corpse, you know, where you could drag your corpse when the game launched. I don't remember if that was in or not. But anyway, I was able to get my corpse, and I don't remember actually what I did at that point. I don't remember if I just said the hell with this and I gated. You know, I couldn't have gated back. I would have had to use a portal back to my land, other land, or maybe I just started killing stuff to get 14 again and was able to get to where I was trying to go. I don't even remember what I was trying to do, but I just do remember that experience pretty vividly. That I tried to cross the world because I had invis and I was like, oh man, I'm like invulnerable now. I can just do whatever I want, and not realizing, oh, things see invis, and once invis breaks, I could lose my level, and once I lose my level, I can you know, potentially not have an invis again. I've lost some hit points here, but I don't even care. Let's just get this D0, and I've gotten no bags from these CT kills yet, which is kind of irritating. Oh, no problem, Jack. I'm barely even paying attention when I'm fighting these lower level raid bosses, but I do have just this last one to go, and then we're gonna go do a couple of quick sky runs, and maybe I'll get some things to turn in. I'm missing all kinds of buffs right now. I probably will take a second to rebuff just because it'll make things go faster. And then, you know, zoning back, you know, who cares? Did you do, if you're still here, did you do fear back in the early days? Like,
There, that wasn't so terrible, was
it lived up to its name. Like, you were fearful to zone into the plane of fear because you would zone into that portal, and computers were so slow back then that it might take you 30 seconds to zone in. And what I remember happening a lot of times is the sound, and so everybody would invis up, but some things like scarelines and other things saw invis, and they could be roaming by. And oh, you never raided. Oh man, I wish there was video of early fear raids. I don't know if there is, and I mean really early fear raids. But you would zone in, and the sound from the like would start playing before the instance would fully load, and you could see what's going on. And sometimes when you appeared, you were done zoning, you were dead, and there was 30 dead people around you. You know, you were basically like, the goal was to zone in and run. See if I can bring up a map and actually show it. So let's see, the zone in. Let's bring this big map up. How does this map not show the zone? Oh, zone in. Okay. So the zone in is here. So all right, you would all just run in and viz, you know, as a raid at the same time. You might have had 10 people or 20 people or 30 people, you know, back in the day. The guild inner circle I was in, we always did things with less people. So if most guilds were doing raids with 30 people, we were using 20. You know, just with good tactics and just people that knew what they were doing. But you would zone in and viz, and you try and get to this wall, and then try and get to this kind of lower left-hand corner. It wasn't safe. Things would roam, right? And as soon as one thing saw somebody, especially if it saw it around this zone line, you might get 30 things. And then if a scareling or a lich saw you and started porting you around, and there'd be some nights where the plan was to do a fear raid, and you would zone in, and the entire raid would die, and then it was a corpse run for the rest of the night. And a corpse run basically meant you would
Recast Puma on you.
you would invis a monk. A monk would zone in and feed and death, and he'd be kind of watching, or maybe a necro. And Shadow Knights weren't even a thing, I don't think, when EverQuest first launched. Did I quick buff yet? No. And so what would happen is they would say, okay, we've got no roamers, you're clear, and we would be invising. Like, I was a wizard, so I had invis, so I'd be invising like my cleric assignment. And if you had other monks or necros who could fiend death, they would go in first, try and get to the corner. And then you'd be invising the clerics, and they'd get to the corner and start rezzing people. And then you'd try to, they'd try to fight stuff if it came, and you just try and, it was really like you say, we're breaking into fear, because that is exactly what you were doing. But again, as painful as that was, and as much as we complained, and there were times that after several hours of trying to get your corpses, GMs would come, they would kill all the mobs in the zone, and they would let you come in and loot your corpse. But they would make you wait a while in order to do that. And it was painful, but it got that heart pounding. And when you actually got in and you cleared it, and it took hours to clear the whole zone so that you could fight CT, and I mean hours. And bards always made the best bowlers back then. We had a bar, his name was, I think, Romeo or something like that. I know it started with an R. Who was, when we had him pulling, sometimes he'd have 10, 15,
so terrible,
10, 15 things on him at once, just running around the zone. And somebody would peel off him, one or two as he rode by, as he ran by. But like I said, it was just in those days, I think nobody seemed to pick on our server, at least that was in our guild. Do I need this for anything? No. Nobody seemed to pick an enchanter. I don't remember a single enchanter being in our guild early on. So like, we had, nobody to mez or anything. It wasn't until myself and another gentleman, his name was Rabikin. He started as a bard, and then he made an enchanter. And so him and I started to learn how to play enchanters. And that was kind of a game changer for our guild, as we learned, what mezzing meant, and things of that nature, and how it worked. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it just, from what I remember, AoE mez, like, I think the resists were just all just at a different level. I mean, certainly there was nothing like Overchannel, right, where AE mez, hits on everything, and almost nothing gets, resisted. Yeah, it was a time for sure. It was and like, going up the plane of hate for the first time, and clearing that was not easy, because of course you're going up there, and people got crappy weapons still that maybe they've got from Gook, and not everybody has even a a Black Silk Sass, but certainly not everybody has a Cloak of Flames. And even if you have a Cloak of Flames, it's not a it's not a plus 42%, so nobody's at max haste.
There, that wasn't
You've
so
got a
terrible,
whole
was it?
raid of characters that are doing less damage than we do now as single characters. So just a completely Same game, but really completely different in how you had to play it. It was hardcore. That is the word for it. It was definitely hardcore. Oh, and man, the trains, you know, that term train, that, you know, you zone into lower gook, and you better not stay by that zone line for more than 30 seconds, because there is a train a coming, and it's going to be 50 things. Because it's not like it is now. It wasn't like it is now, where like everything in lower gook instantly roots you. You know, with seemingly not even casting a spell, they just root you. Like when people train, they could train the whole zone on you. And some people would do that as just, hey, you pissed me off, you took my camp, right?
There, that wasn't so terrible, was
It's
it?
not a PvP server, but guess what? I can dump 20 mobs on you as I run by to the zone, because I'm a shaman and I have Sow or something, or I'm a monk and I have Fiend Death. So there was a lot of that. Not always on purpose. There was, you know, unrest, getting charmed, and then bringing you to the basement after they killed everybody in the zone, and charm breaks finally, and then they kill you in the basement. Now your body is in the bottom of unrest with nobody on the server who's powerful enough to get down there potentially and get it, right? And you panic. You don't know, you didn't know what to do. But we figured it out. Like, you know, we get a group of people together, you know, start clearing down there, or, you know, have somebody train all the mobs to the zone that are in the way, and then you run down there and, you know, get your corpse. Or maybe dragging must have been a thing, now that I think about it, because you could drag the corpse in fear, as soon as we got doing fear, because people would drag them, monks and necros would drag them to the corner. But there's so many zones that even for however long I played it, I don't remember zoning into Mistmore at all. I don't remember zoning into Splitpaw at all. Very little experience in Blackburrow. Permafrost, I don't remember ever leveling there. It was just, we went there to kill Vox. So experiencing, that's why I haven't really done anything with Permafrost at all yet, besides just getting to the Voidling to get to spawn Vox, because when they revamp that, I want to learn that zone and dungeon crawl it. All pretty much for the first time, which is just crazy to think about in a game that is over 2 decades old. Does anybody know if, oh jeez, if you clear the minis, will these mobs still come? I haven't tried it just because I don't want to waste my time, even though I could fight CT with on D0 with these. I guess I just haven't tried it. Stunned? Oh no, the phantasm's why is it way over there? Oh, it's fighting my pet. Who's gonna kill it? Let me get this shrunk back down. See, I think that should be all the mobs. Maybe that's the challenge I should do, is fight CT with on D0 with all the minis. I don't think I would survive that, but maybe. Hey, good. Yeah, slash corpse on a macro. Yep. Jack, hey man, good talking. Join again sometime. Like I said, I really enjoy chatting it up with people about this game. You know, old man. None of these ads came when I pulled those minis this time. Old school EverQuest, and then other you know, MMOs as well that we've all played through the years. I've played a lot of them, and then taken some breaks and come back to them. But it's definitely a genre that I tend to gravitate to. Alright, we're gonna go kill, I think that should be the last spawn. We'll do one more trip, just quarter way around. And then we'll go kill him, and then off to Sky for 2 quick runs of just a few islands. Most of it I just invis by now. Alright, let's just get a little bit of mana back here. I guess I could just cannibalize because I won't need it during the fight. Let that regen back, and then we'll head in. Again, really appreciate everybody joining today. This has been great. This has been the most chat I've had since I've started streaming this game. So hopefully that continues with future streams, because I definitely really enjoy it. Makes the game a little bit more fun, even though you're not playing with a group like we did back in the day. At least you still feel like you're still kind of part of a community. See if we can, how far we can get on this CT without a heal. So, oh, let me go back into offensive stance. So we've got 100 and, why do I only have 109 regen? Missing something. Oh, probably because a lot of my buffs are off. Yeah, so my stamina, well, no, that's not. My hit points are I don't know why I should have more than that. Maybe he's got a debuff on me or something. But let's see. I mean, we already have him. I think we could do this. So we'll do this easily without defensive stance. I don't think I've ever used empowering invocation.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
No, it wasn't. All right, so now we're going to go to Sky. I don't think I'm still... I think I'm parked in like Wrath Mountains or something for some reason. So we'll have to run to Sky. And I got no bags. I'm not crazy. I think CT does drop 10 slaughter, so hopefully I'm not crazy and he actually does, and I didn't just waste a bunch of time. So we'll go to South Row, run to East Commons, zone up to Sky, do 2 quick runs. Shouldn't take more than half an hour max. I do have a video under my live streams on my channel where I did clear all the bosses in Sky on D4. Not something I would recommend or even do again, but unless they put in, rewards. But I wanted to see if this trio could do it, and I was able to do it actually pretty
Recast Puma on
pretty
you.
easily, just one death. And I'm trying to remember if that was the time
Recast Puma on Zontic.
where I was killing the bees and then one of the drakes roamed up on me. It was something like that. But I did that challenge just because one day I accidentally went to Sky and was clearing and started thinking to myself, man, this stuff is taking forever to die. And then I realized, like on island 3 or 4, maybe even on B island, if I remember right, that I was on D4. And so I thought, man, if I got that far without even realizing it, maybe I could clear it. So I did it. I didn't kill every single, mob. Like I can't even do that on D0 because the drakes always come in packs and something always goes wrong. I mean, I could do it. I just haven't spent the time. Let's see what we have left in Plane of Sky. So this is EQ Companion, which is what I use for my DPS overlay. I've got Bard, Druid, Ranger, Rogue unlocked, Shaman unlocked, Cleric, Mage, Monk, Paladin, Shadow Knight, Warrior, Wizard, all need one item. Beast Lord, Berserker, Enchanter, Necro, all need two. Make sure I've got Spirit on. I do. I need to level up a wizard because I'm sure there's ports that are closer. Either need to level up a wizard, which I need to do anyway, but more importantly, I just need to finish the sky quests and completely be done with that zone unless they add a very valid reason to go back there. They really need to add it to where if you do higher levels and you get a +4 item and you turn the quest in with a +4 item, you get a +4 item back or something like that to make those higher level sky runs worth it. Do This is why I always have the levitation buff on from Air Elemental. It just lasts forever, and when you have to run somewhere, it just makes it so much easier to run over everything. Down to 8 viewers now. Don't know if anybody's still left that is a live person. But if you are, don't have to chat. But if you want to introduce yourself, feel free. If you have any questions, I am admittedly not the most knowledgeable person. I'm still learning a lot from other streamers and replaying the game. And certainly, I'm pretty knowledgeable about the way that EQL works, but not knowledgeable about every class. But we could certainly try and get that information together as people have questions and we kind of chat it up. Also interested in what other MMOs people have played, just to see if we happen to have played some of the same MMOs and can have a discussion on what we liked about those and didn't like. Also, any comments on how my audio sounds. Um, I haven't streamed yet on video. I just something I haven't, kind of set up for. I'm typically playing in the dark. I'm just in a dark room, playing with the lights off. But I could not put my DPS meter down here in the left-hand corner and put a video of myself. But I even should I don't have a preference when I watch streamers if they show video of themselves or not. So I'm just curious if that is something that people really prefer is to see the person that is streaming, or if they'd rather just have more of the interface show. played with this overlay of EQ Companion. Experience per hour. Maybe when I go up, well, I can't really tell when I go up to sky, so. Well, this shows like how many drops you got of motes. I'll have to play around with that next time I level. Oh, this guy's killing guards. Don't do it. I don't know if he forgot that he was an ogre or just didn't care or what. Guess not everybody has illusions. Alright, so I'm going to get my target window up here from EQ Companion that tells me what I need and what I don't need. I do have a couple of quests that I need to turn in, but I'll do that after. Make sure I'm on D0. And the first island I need anything from is Island 3, the Gorgolisk. Get 3 items from there. Azure Ring, Feathered Cape, and Gorgon Head. Actually, I got 1 Feathered Cape. I need 2. And so we're just going to invis up to there. And we'll use the Harpy as a pet. At least until we zone up the Bee Island. I actually prefer the Harpy over the Bee. But it's just easier to deal with Bee Island if you go up there and viz. Which I cannot do with the Harpy. Say goodbye to our pet. Go ahead and viz. Looks like all my buffs should be good for a little while. Brilliance is not. I should level this up a little bit just to make it last longer. I got a lot of AAs up here because I used to come up here and as I was clearing I would kill all the things on that last island. I would kill a lot of the roamers on other islands. I just wasn't in that much of a hurry. Gonna go ahead and get Swift memmed as soon as this dies.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
That must have dropped something that I already just set to destroy or whatever. Sold it for free. And from this island, I need the Ivory Sky Diamond for a Paladin. Not from this island. This island I skip. Don't need anything from it. Typically have to fight 1 or 2 things. I could probably pacify by this. But it just dies so fast, especially once I get Swift on the Harpy. And I'm actually going to take my weapon off. I find that these sky charms do way more damage without a weapon. You can see it's already going up, you know, in the 250s, but you'll see that when it's starting on a new mob, even go more. Especially if I were to quick buff and give it all the buffs. So you can see 340, 343 compared to, you know, my couple hundred DPS with everything. So I'm not sure that the charm nerf is
Nothing but problem.
as they called it. Take this opportunity to tash it first. Oh, and I don't have over channel on. Oh, I guess I got that off. But if I didn't have over channel on when I cast it, it's probably not going to last too long, so we're going to go ahead and break it and recast it.
Nothing but problem.
Didn't expect those to aggro me like that. But that's okay, we'll just kill them. Gotta kill one or two of them anyway to get the Guardian. I spent probably 2 hours up here a couple nights ago just continuously spawning the Guardian and then the Lord.
Recast Puma on you.
And did not get the Ivory Sky Diamond. I'm gonna let that boon wear off because it's really annoying the sound. Back up to 11 viewers again. Thank you for joining. If there's anybody alive out there, real people, happy to chat if anybody wants to. Otherwise, I'm just going to spawn the Spirok Lord on this, kill it once, and go up to B Island, get a B, kill that, kill the sister, kill Vishan, and then reset, do it one more time, and then I'm going to be done for the night and get to bed so I can get up and go to work in the morning. Looks like they've already debuffed my run speed and my attack buff.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
It was terrible because I did not get what I wanted, so I believe it was terrible.
Nothing but problem.
What I do here is I just break that, mez it, invis, then I zone up. I did have it follow me up one time, which I thought was really strange that only happened one time, and that really kind of messed me up here. Excuse me, boy, I'm yawning. Definitely up a little bit later than I thought I would be. I don't need to typically, but I do go into defensive stance as I just get these. But I just come up most of the time. Once I slow this, I'll get one of the other bees, and that's the one I charm. Sometimes I will get all three, and I don't know what the difference is. Like right there, I got all three. I don't know what the difference is of how I'm getting all three. Not that big of a deal, but that is why I like to Just like I said, just a little bit more of a pain. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's still pretty crazy. You know, the bee does definitely do less damage than it did, and it does less damage than the harpy, which, again, I'd rather bring the harpy up here.
Recast Puma on you.
I also think, honestly, the bee breaks more than it did before and breaks more than the harpy. What am I trying to do here? Cannibalize. Nothing that I need so far is dropped. This island, I need a box of wind or a silken wrap. And then sister, I've got 4 things that I could use. Put that out here.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Oh, I need this for an Enchanter quest. Nice. Alright, let's mez this, and then I don't know if I've done this before. Sometimes I'll blur these, but I'm just going to zone up with my pet. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if it follows me up here.
Recast Puma on BZ Zazd.
It does follow me up here, and I'm running in when it does. It's going to be bad. I die sometimes here. Like, if the charm breaks when you're coming by these drakes, a lot of times they will aggro, and they are just the worst.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Glowing necklace. Ooh, I need that as well. That's another Enchanter quest. Not that I necessarily need to unlock Enchanter as primary, but wouldn't hurt, because then I could actually play Enchanter, Shaman, Paladin. Where am I going? I need to run this way. Enchanter, Shaman, Paladin without unlocking Paladin. And I believe I only need, yep, those 2. So this should unlock Enchanter once I turn these in. That's nice. Been a good run so far. Anytime you don't have very many things left and you can get a couple items on a single run, that is a good day for sure. So I actually may not do a second run. We'll see how I feel. gets heals going. Typically, I don't mess around with this guy like
Nothing but problem.
and that's why right there, because when this breaks, if I'm low on health and I haven't gotten a slow in, this could kill me. Should have started that fight with a slugs. Sometimes slow is really easy to land, sometimes not.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Large sky diamond. Nope. I need a mithril bands and a tier of Quellis from him. Alright, let's do one more quick one. It was maybe 20 minutes. Buffs are still pretty good.
Haste wore off you, maybe you should recast it.
I am missing a few buffs, so let's...
Recast Puma on you.
do a quick rebuff, and then we'll do another run of those few islands. Hopefully we get a couple more items that we need to unlock. We did unlock, with what we just got, we'll unlock the Enchanter. Why are my buffs not landing? What's happening? That's an hour-long buff. That's not too bad, but I probably just need to level that up just a little bit to make it last as long as everything else. Chloroplast, I should also, it's only a 27-minute buff. Need to put some motes into that to get that to last longer. And I don't know why I'm casting all these without my Roku's on. That's kind of silly as well. Okay, let's just, first of all, I got to get into an instance. Then we'll invis, keep going. And I currently have three quests to turn in. Then I have to do a lot of bag inventory, which I'm not going to do tonight for sure. I'm going to go to bed right after this run. We're back up to 12 viewers. Don't know, if there's anybody new. Welcome. New to streaming. I've been streaming, at least EQ Legends the last couple of weeks. Tonight's been a good night. Had a few different chats with different people, so eager to, chat it up with anybody who wants to. I did not mean to zone up here without invising. That was really stupid. And I don't have anything memmed. So I guess we are going to use this pet and do what we can. I literally have nothing memmed. Let's see what we can do. Okay, we got a Swift memmed, so I can put that on this. That was a mistake. It was a big mistake. Luckily, my emergency allure was on there. I'm going to go into well, let's see. Let me get some damage going at least. If I can even reach these guys, which I can't, because they're just bouncing him up further and further up. Gotta shine so each time I can get one in. At least now I have enough where I can defend myself. But I really I don't want to spend any time on this island. It's not totally wasteful because I am getting experience. AA experience, that is. But let's get the rest of our buffs mend. I'm just going to change this into Invis. Break.
Nothing but problem.
I didn't realize that he was fighting one. I feel like I'm going to get more ads. Alright, let's get a Viz on and stop wasting time. Too tired. Definitely making mistakes here. So, go up to Gorgoles Island, charm the Harpy, kill Gorgoles, skip the next island, spawn the Guardian Spirit Lord with the Harpy, kill those. Leave the Harpy, go up to B Island, pull, get a bee, kill all the bees, go up and kill the sister, then go up and kill Ishan. So it should be pretty short and easy run. You get the Harpy hasted. Look at that DPS right now, 442 DPS and not even hasted. It's bananas.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Don't need that. Alright, so easy peasy there. Let's get up here. And I'm going to skip this island. Everything debuffs. Debuffs that Saw with attack. I can't wait for them to fix that. My rage is gone again. If you're watching, you can see I'm doing this. I don't really go into defense stance that much. I do when I fight Vishan because if it breaks, if Charm breaks, and especially if I don't have slow on her yet, then things can get really dicey really quickly. But the pet just does so much damage that fights just don't last very long. Oh, let's see. I should be able to pull my pet up here, even though that's aggro. I did have one time an essence carrier follow me up to this island. Normally they don't, though. Probably going to get a few here, but that's alright. We're up to 4, that's still fine. I just typically cycle through them. Start getting dots on them. I can even go into Divine and get heal and get health back as I dot them up.
Recast Puma on you.
With a Rampage, which is a spell that I wish I had not wasted AA points on. Well, I'm back up to 6 AA already. That's crazy. So, yeah, persistent casting. Yep. We're going to go ahead and train that. Sometimes the AAs just come so fast you don't even spend them. Alright, so I think the next thing I'm going to finish off, I'm going to save up 9. Finally finish off Healing Boon. Heal over time will exceptionally heal their target. 'Cause I do use slugs quite a bit. And then, I don't know, I haven't even started on Stoicism yet, but I may start on that next. Take a look here in a second. Come on, we need the Ivory Sky Diamond here. Ivory Sky Diamond, and I am done with this island. Give it up, bird. Could also, after Healing Boon, start maxing out these Master of Alls and just get all of my specializations maxed. That would be good long term. I mean, I'm sure there's some of them for these classes I don't really use too much, but other classes will use them.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
It was absolutely terrible.
Nothing but problems.
Recast Puma on you.
Absolutely terrible to not get what I want. Still got a few things we need from this island. I'll probably get another silver wrap, even though I just got it. I just didn't turn it in. I'm going to try to lean more towards this side. But I don't know why I'm sometimes getting 3 of these, and other times just 2. This one is a 3, so that's good. Or a 1. Not 1 or 3, it's a 2. Either way, it's not a hard, certainly not a hard clear. With charm, that is, of course. Go ahead and get a slugs on for the hell of it. Box of Winds. Box of Winds. That's all I need. Not that I can, well, if I don't need this anymore, then I could skip this island and figure out what to charm on the next island, I suppose. I've never charmed anything up there, but it's got to be something worthwhile. Hello, Harpy. How are you? Why are you up here?
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Again, I disagree with Alan Rickman. I think that's his name. Because I'm not getting the box of wins that I need. Could have actually swapped pets here. It could have been nice if the Harpy was up here because it actually does more damage, but that's okay. This is almost dead. But plenty of health to get done what we need to get done.
Recast Puma on you.
So weird that sometimes you get a couple of these ads in here and other times you get nothing.
Recast Puma on BZ Zazd.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
Jin Staff? Jin Stave? No. I don't need that. I don't know why I'm looting it. But I don't need it. Alright, we're gonna get up here, kill this Vishan, turn in the quests, I think, and go to bed.
Nothing but problems.
I'm going to shine this just because we wanted to make sure it lasts. We're also gonna go into nope. Nope, I'm gonna have to break it.
Nothing but problems.
Didn't even have to break it. I didn't have channeling on, so it broke itself very quickly. Let's give it a slugs. Give myself a slugs. You can have Puma, excuse me. Couldn't slow it last time, or didn't have too much luck with it. This time we're going to do a little bit different. LSI, BN, Shani.
Recast Puma on you.
Now it's like minus, I don't even know how much, 200 plus. There we go. We're looking for mithril bands, which I need 2 of, which is crazy.
There, that wasn't so terrible, was it?
And a tier of Quellis, so nice. So that is for a monk quest. That might get me my last thing I need for monk. Let's see, so we actually have 5 quests to turn in, but one of the items is used for 2, so really only 4, which I think I decided I'm going to turn in the feathered cape with the wizard, because that'll make me finish. So wizard or enchanter, must be magician, not either of those. Magician, because that'll make me finish that class. Alright, so we did some easy D4, D3 hate just to get Indolosite gear. We then did a hate run of, what did I just do? Then we did a hate run. Shouldn't that zone me in? No. Then we did a hate run where we were just after the haunted chest, lustrous gear. Then we went and did Yale 0 through 4 because I hadn't done that this week. And then I had CT 1, 2, and 3 left to do. I was only doing that to try and get bags, of which I got 0. And then we came here, did 2 quick sky runs, and actually got 3 things that we needed, which was, my bags are an absolute disaster. So let's just at least try and get enough room to do what I need to do here. Okay. Feathered cape goes with a ruined wind Aza. Adamantium earring. Kaza. Glowing necklace. Aina. Okay, we're already using the feathered cape. That's the berserker, so for the wizard or the magician one, we actually need a Lena. And then tier of Quellis. There's that with also a Lena. So is that our 5? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes. Because I only have 1 feathered cape. Alright, so the first turn in is with Stragon. Stragon is feathered cape. Is this on the feathered cape? Oh, oops, I've got the wrong. How did I get the wrong gem for that one?
It is done.
Okay. Enchanter is Jolas. Adamantium earring and Aza.
It is done.
Oh, this is the earring with gravity flux. So look at that. I don't know that I'd wear it all the time, but it doesn't have a cooldown. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd ever use that for anything. But anyway, next turn in is again glowing necklace.
It is done.
Gives us that necklace I will never use. And then the monk is Holin. I remember that one. He is here.
It is done.
Well, that's his haste belt. That is nice. I will keep that for when I play a monk, for sure. Alright, so let's just take a look on our EQ companion. Finish the monk now. I thought we finished the magician. Didn't I just turn that in? Let's see. What did I turn in? Maybe it didn't log it correctly because I got the... What was the... Gives me the bracelet of clarification. Did it eat my pieces or what? What happened there? Let's see. Feathered cape. Did I turn it in for the berserker? Maybe that's what I did. That's what I did. I turned it in for the berserker instead of the magician. I got this shroud of sky, raging strength. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 classes unlocked. And a bunch just with 1 more item. So that's it for today. So hey, who cares? Earring, neck, and belt you got. Yeah, I had the feathered cape from my last run. I was wanting to turn it in for the magician, but I think I just looked at things wrong and I turned it in for... So I was trying to turn it in for this to just finish up this class. But it looks like instead I turned it in with this. I had the right rune when I first looked it up. That's why it didn't work. But when I looked back at which guy it was supposed to go to, I went to the berserker guy, not the magician guy. So, all right. Well, appreciate everybody watching. If please join again if you want to subscribe. That's when you'll be alerted, I guess, if I go live. I also try to put it into the Discord. I stream on both Twitch and YouTube. I didn't ask anybody today if they were watching from Twitch or YouTube, so whatever the equivalent on Twitch is of subscribing on YouTube, feel free to do that. I don't know if that's free or not. I have to look up how Twitch exactly works, but I appreciate it, and thanks. Who cares for stopping by and chatting? Stop by again, and yeah, again, appreciate it, and we will talk another time. So let me just bring up my transition screen, and then I'm going to be out. So thanks, guys. Have a good night.